Welcome to the Lifestyle Builders Podcast, Show 18. In our last episode, we talked about how to find your unfair advantage. In today's episode, we're chatting with guest Mary Kathryn Johnson all about messenger bots and how you can use them in your business and possibly your life.
And through that process, you want to gather data of what's important. It's kind of like using the ask method.
Yes.
In marketing communication, but not sending them to a survey. You can survey them right inside Messenger and collect that answer, and you can zap it over to a Google Sheet. You can zap it over to your CRM. Love zaps. We love zaps. Love them.
A little bit more about our guest, Mary Kathryn Johnson, or MKJ, as we like to call her. As an author, entrepreneur, and mom, Mary Kathryn Johnson has created online success since 2003. A fall while pregnant with her second son landed her with 2 broken legs, her first book, and her first business. Mary is now using that 15 years of roller coaster family and business success to help entrepreneurs disrupt their low converting email funnels for the automated engagement powerhouse of messenger funnels so they can truly engage with their audience, prospects, and customers. All right, guys, welcome back to the Lifestyle Builders Podcast. And we are so excited to have our guest on with us today, Mary Kathryn Johnson, or MKJ, as I've started calling her, because
I know
we love to.
It's easier. Every time we talk about you, we're like Mary Kathryn Johnson, and I'm like, I feel like I have to say the whole name.
Dad, no, don't, no, just MK, mom, you, whatever.
Can I call you mom?
You can call me mom. I'm probably old enough. Let's just leave it at that, because I do
share those.
I do have the nickname from lots of people that I network with, the Chatbot mom.
The chatbot. So, I love that though. You need
to
trademark that. The chat.
I already have it. I have the domain. Yes. So chatbotmom.com is me.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it's because I'm the old lady in the group. I'm totally, and I'm really, really cool with that. I had to like straighten my hair today because there were all these wisdom curls coming out, I love the gray stuff that just kind of does its own thing. So that's a wisdom curl. Thank you very much.
All my hair just does its own thing. So
yeah, right.
Some major wisdom
lots
curls.
of wisdom curls.
It's got to be gray now.
It's not yet, but I'm sure they're coming with these.
They're coming. Yeah, have more kids. Coming. You got it.
I love that. So just give people a little bit of an overview, because I think a lot of people are confused as to what is a chatbot.
Yes. Okay. So first off, I need to kind of change that whole term, because people say, oh, do you build chatbots? And I look at them and go, no. And they're looking at me confused. I'm like, well, what do you mean? No, I don't. I don't build chatbots. Chatbots are the delivery method. Okay. So just like emails, that would be like saying I build emails. I don't build emails. If you're an email copywriter, you don't build emails, right? If you do marketing and email automation, you don't tell people you build emails. So I don't build chatbots. I build marketing and sales funnels, or marketing and sales adventures, or marketing and sales communication in Facebook Messenger.
I love that.
So the chatbot is really just that. It is an automated communication tool. There are chatbots in many different platforms, but the first one to come out for marketing and sales and customer service and all those wonderful things is Messenger. Messenger opened up their platform to do that in 2016, and it's just been a rocket ship since then. So that's what it is, a marketing and sales communication tool that is automated.
Yeah, and I love the way you describe that, because far too often people get so caught up in the tools and they miss the overall strategy behind it. Yes. And then, we see people all the time that like, implement this tool, implement that tool, this doesn't work, that doesn't work. And like you said, there's so much more than just the tool that you're talking about. It's the strategy behind that. So when you go to set up like one of these campaigns, what is it that you look for, and how do you kind of go about doing that?
Yeah, that is a great question, Tom. So basically, we start with the end in mind. Okay, so you're in a road, you're driving somewhere, you don't know where you're going. If you're one of those wonderful people that I just embrace but cannot even be around, that just goes and just has no plan and no nothing, yeah. So occasionally I could do that, but not on a regular basis, right? I'm not going to go to Europe and just land and go, where am I going to go? No, that's not me. So I need a plan, at least to some extent. I'm not anal about it, like my husband. But anyway, so
we'll make sure to send them a recording.
We will definitely. I love the call outs because I call Tom out all the time.
Yes, you do.
It's opposites, right? We know. You guys know. You guys do this all the time. I love your posts about that. So, but anyway, I need to start with the end in mind. I need to know where I'm going. And so if, and there are many different places you can go with this. It can, obviously, most of us want sales. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we need to keep our business going. We need to feed our families. So if it's a sale of an e-commerce product, if it's a sale of an online course, if it's getting someone to a webinar attendance, if it's filling out an application for a high ticket coaching, what is that conversion? Okay. And then once you know that conversion, then you can build the adventure to get there.
I love how you call it the adventure.
Mm-hmm. It is so, because I'm telling you, people actually participate in this. This isn't a passive thing. Mm-hmm. You actually participate. You push buttons. You type in replies. You as a user of Messenger in some of these adventures, you get to participate and determine where the adventure goes. So that's it. That's how we determine what we're going to build. What's the conversion? What is the adventure people need to take to get there? And then we look at how do we get people in? That's the last step.
That combines some cool stuff because obviously Tom is the reverse engineering guy. So anything where you start with the end and then you break it down to figure out what to actually do is right up his alley. And then, I don't know, did you ever read any of those like Choose Your Adventure books? I know you didn't. Mr. I never read a book until I don't know when.
Until a business book.
You know what I'm talking about. But I love it. It's kind of like the Choose Your Adventure, the novels that they used to have where you could pick like, I want this, and it tells you to go to that page. It's Choose Your Own Adventure as the customer, which is kind of cool. There's not a lot of options. You get to do that in different places. So to have that availability with using these chatbots or messenger funnels is really cool for your business, and it opens up some really cool opportunities.
It opens a whole new world because so we can get down into the weeds, but the exciting parts of this is from a user's perspective. Yes, I can choose my adventure. I can participate in this journey and tell you what I need, and then you provide it. But from a business perspective, from the marketing perspective, we're gathering data. Yeah. And as we know, data gathering is all in the news and breaches of such and all of that. So we obviously have to be very cognizant, very careful of what we're collecting and how we're using it. Mm-hmm. But I'm talking about basics, like do you like red or green? Yeah. Okay, we're not talking about give me your credit card number, right? Yep. Or your home address or your birth date, right? So we're talking about what they need from you. So if you're trying to get people to a webinar and you're going to try and get them onto an online course, and through that process, you want to gather data of what's important. It's kind of like using the ask method.
Yep. Yes.
In marketing communication, but not sending them to a survey. You can survey them right inside Messenger and collect that answer, and you can zap it over to a Google Sheet. You can zap it over to your CRM.
Love zaps.
We love zaps. Love them. Except with ClickFunnels. I won't talk about ClickFunnels.
Uh-oh. Zaps don't work so good.
They just don't play nice with other software. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so that aside, was just working on that this morning, so it was top of mind.
Fresh.
Sorry. Fresh. So, so then you can gather that data, and then once that user tells you that they like that, you can actually use conditional logic to deliver exactly what it is they've just told you they need. It's a beautiful thing.
Love that.
Well, and that's what I think a lot of people miss is, they go and they just try to sell something, and what they don't realize, like, you talked about adventure. We always talk about the customer journey, and it really all is, okay, where are we trying to take them? Where are they starting at? And then what's the path that they're going to use to get there? And everything we do, whether it's creating content or, outreach, should be moving them to the next step in that. And, what I think is cool about this, like, to be honest, I was a skeptic at first because I only heard, some of the stuff on the outside.
Oh yeah, me too. I'm horrible when it comes to new marketing strategies because I automatically see the negatives in a lot of things. Well, and Tom has to remind me, like, don't
Don't
just
prejudge.
Don't prejudge, because someone might be using it in a way that you don't agree with, but there's other people using it in a way that is really cool. And I always have to be like, oh, you're right. I know. But it's so hard because, marketing is one of those areas where really good things always get taken and used in really bad ways by all of the scammy people out there. And then a lot of times that's all we see. So
I got to tell you, you guys, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I know we've met recently and I know you have heard me go on this rant. This is my number one goal with this platform. It is so incredibly valuable on both sides. Okay. Not just our side to sell things, but on the user's side. It is so valuable. And my number one goal is to keep it that way and not let it become email.
Yes.
Okay. Well, and Facebook's helping me with that goal. Thankfully, they don't, don't allow you to sell lists and they don't allow you to do all these things. But still, marketers can use it. Like a guy who hired me that I was a wrong choice. I should not have worked with this guy. All he wanted me to do was push leads to his insurance client that was paying him so much per lead. That's a chatbot.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's it. That's just give me a lead. They're just a body. I don't care about them. Just get them to over here so I can sell them to my partner. I don't want any part of that.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about, Ariana, right?
But that is what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So that's number one. And you can use this. It is not that difficult, but you have to know Facebook's terms of service.
Yeah.
If you don't know that, you're all of a sudden going to wake up one day and your page is shut down and you have no clue why. And they're not going to accept the argument, just like the police officer who pulls you over for speeding. They're not going to accept that argument. They're just going to shut you down and ask questions later.
Yeah.
So you don't want to go through that. Believe me.
Yeah. And so many people do these days because they get bad advice from others and they just take it at face value instead of going and researching, like, is this actually allowed? Well, so-and-so said to do this. They might have, but you may want to double check and make sure that you're actually allowed to do that, because as you said, you can get your account shut down. And so many people, it takes them weeks to even get their account back if they can. Sometimes Facebook is just like, nope, you don't get it. You're back at zero.
Well, I was going to say, and that actually brings up, I think, a really good topic as we're talking about this is, are you doing stuff that you own or are you doing stuff that is on somebody else's property?
Yeah, and, good question.
As you said, with all the data stuff coming up, I mean, a couple weeks ago, I had everyone on my Facebook newsfeed like, oh my gosh, like the sky is falling, we're not going to, like, because Facebook had put the hold on new messenger bots, right?
Right.
And so, like, I ended up putting a post out and I'm like, listen, people, you have to always be, I wish I would have put listen, people. That sounds so good.
It does.
Anyways, it's like, anytime you're building a business, you want to make sure that ultimately you own your business. And the one story I'll just share quick, I had a high school basketball coach and I wasn't very good. Like, they put me in and they basically said, Tom, if you got the ball, like, pass it to somebody else. But anyways, he took me out of the game one time and he yelled at me for getting fouled. And I was like, I don't understand. How can I get in trouble for getting fouled? And what he said was, you put yourself in a situation where people fouled you. And he's like, you want to set yourself up so that you can't be fouled. And I correlate that over to the business world is when we're all setting up our businesses, we have to be putting ourselves in a situation to where if something happens with Facebook or something happens with another platform, that we're still going to be okay. And I found so many people lately that have gone all in, whether it's on messenger bots or something else. And then when something changes, their businesses are in trouble.
Yeah. And that's spoken like a true strategy and also systems guy.
Yep.
So I get it.
Sounds familiar.
So I've got to say two things to that. Number one, no matter what you do in business, there is a risk. Okay. That is just a fact of life. There is no way you can mediate every single risk. Yep. So no matter what, there's a risk, but you can go in with eyes open and as much data and information as you can. So my two answers to that are here. Yes, you want to own as much of your business as you possibly can. And your customer base, obviously you own that. They come through however you buy them, that's your information. They are your customer. How you communicate to them yes, you want to try and own that as much as you can too. But the same thing, the only place that people go with communication is email.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fantastic. You can own a list of 100,000 people, and that's wonderful. That is amazing. Only 20,000 of them
Are opening your email.
opening your messages, which is still, oh my gosh, the rest of us would be like 20,000 people on our email list would be amazing. But then we have to go down to 20% of those people, which is only, 4,000 that are opening. And again, I could bring it down. Oh my gosh, so many people would be like 4,000 people on my email list. Are you kidding? But again, 20,000 or 20%. So yes, you own that list, but very few people on that list even get to see anything you have to say.
Yep.
So I get that, and keep it. Don't get rid of it. I personally just don't use email anymore for communication in terms of automated communication. I just don't. Never liked it before, and I still don't like it. I still prefer Messenger.
Yeah.
But so that's number one. Number two is this communication platform. You can collect email addresses. Definitely. You can ask people for their email address. And Facebook has given us an easier way to do that now.
Mm-hmm.
So when you ask someone for an email address, it populates a button automatically with the email that they use to log into Facebook. So it's amazing. Or you can change that. But the reason Facebook or the reason Messenger is so amazing is because all those other platforms that we're using to gather that data, like we were talking about before, they take time. An email list, you've got to have somebody read that email list and hopefully click a button on it. You can iterate this entire process in real time because people are engaging with what you have to say in real time. I can go into the live chat of my page and watch people click buttons and watch them type stuff. It's real-time stuff. So I can go in and go, oh, nobody's clicking that button. I can go in and immediately change it. Or I can say, oh, wow, the copy above this, it's only getting opened 20% of the time, which is not normal for Messenger. And so I can go and change that copy. So the response, the iteration is instantaneous.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, you want to own your data. Yes, you want to have multiple channels that you're communicating. But no matter what you do, it's a risk. Do you want to take the risk that only 20% are going to see what you have to say? Or do you want to take the risk that Facebook is going to shut you down? And I can give you some very specific tools to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Well, and it's all about, obviously there's always risk, but it's all about mitigating those risks and making sure that you're making them the smallest possible risk as you can and have backup plans in place for like, oh my God, if this 0.1% chance of this thing actually happened, what would I do with my business? And it's having that plan like, okay, well, I know I would have this and I have this and I've been building this part up. So I would just have to start over and do this, and a lot of people don't think about that. And that's where they get into trouble because it's when you don't think about something happening that thing happens. And then you're like, oh,
drives me nuts. Those are the things that wake me up and, in the middle of the night when it's all of a sudden, I didn't do this. I can't do it. But I got to tell you, there's one thing I can tell you right now to have the least risk of your Facebook page or your bot being shut down. And that is to follow Facebook's mission.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook's mission from Zuckerberg's lips is connecting people.
Yep.
It's not selling products. Well, it's also advertising, but he didn't say that, but we know that's the case.
Okay? That's in between the lines.
Yeah, that's from day one. It's been advertising. Okay. So, but the mission for the platform is connecting people. So if you keep your entire focus on connecting with people, not selling things, not giving coupon codes, not trying to get leads, but connecting. And that's what Facebook does so well. If you're constantly thinking, how can I engage with my audience?
Yep.
How can I bring value and engage and connect people, then you will be always in line with Facebook. And that's the platform. So we want to be in line with Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And I mean, there's so many cool ways people are using messenger funnels to keep connected with their audience. I know a good friend of mine, she often does challenges in her free Facebook group. And she uses her messenger funnel to people sign up for the challenge there. And then she sends the daily prompts for the challenge and like little messages to you with the messenger bot, which is really cool because she's popping up right there every day, and you get to engage with her and do stuff within there. And then you get to go back and engage in the group, and everyone else is engaging. So it's, she's connecting with you, but then you're also connecting with all the other people doing the challenge, which is really cool. And it's not something clogging up my inbox that I have to go and look for and remember to do, because I probably would not remember. So it's like, oh, you're on Facebook. Ta-da, here's a Facebook message. Or you're on your phone. Oh, yeah, that's right. I signed up for that challenge, and I don't want to forget to do day one of the challenge. So that's one way I've seen it used. Really cool. I'm sure there's probably a million different ways.
Tons and tons. And that's the only thing I need to have as a caveat. So in the sense of a daily challenge, and if someone is actually signed up for a daily challenge and it's 5 days, then yes, you're going to message people every day. That's just expected. But if they're signing up like a typical webinar sequence, we've all seen them, right? We sign up for the webinar a week beforehand, and we get daily emails up until the time of that webinar, and then we get daily emails for the next week, right? So don't do that in Messenger, please.
Yep.
Okay, because people will not like it, and that's fine. I've got it on my calendar. Fine, notify me right before you go live, but don't bug me. And there's one metric. I'm going to do a live here today when we're done with this, because this is a metric that is starting to rumor out there where people are getting warnings from Facebook. So there's a metric in your insights on your Facebook business page. You go up to in your page, and on the top there are your settings and all that page inbox. One of them is insights. If you click insights and you go down to the left sidebar, toward the bottom is going to say messaging. And when you click that, it'll show you a bunch of metrics of how many messages you've sent and all that stuff. And one of the things you want to pay attention to is if your messages are being blocked.
Yep.
So if you are getting blocks from people, and the way you get blocked from people is by messaging them too much and bothering them, they didn't sign up for a daily challenge, but you're giving it to them anyway, daily, right? You're going to get blocked. And if that number, even as high as 3%, bots are getting flagged. To say, hey, users are not engaging with what you're having to say. And again, you're not engaging, you're pushing.
Yep.
This is not pushing content.
Exactly.
This is engagement. So that's a metric you need to pay close attention to. Are you being blocked? How many are marking you as spam? And you go to the insights and you go to messaging, and you can see that. And the way you avoid that is, like I said, engage people. Ask them. You can even ask them in a bot, how often would you like me to communicate with you?
Yeah.
And give them a choice. Daily, they're not going to choose daily, but you can give it to them. Weekly, twice a week, once a month, whatever.
Yeah.
It's just a lot. Unfortunately, if we could educate common sense, it would be an amazing thing.
It would be a very amazing thing. I think that's the tough part, though, is because everyone's looking for the easy button. So every time something new comes out in the marketing space, everyone's like, ooh, that'll make it easy to do this thing that I'm trying to do. It's not about making things easy. It's about using things to get the results that you want. So when it comes to using a messenger funnel, the result you want is to engage with your audience. So it's going to take some work. You have to put the work in the back end to figure out how they want to engage with you. But people don't want to.
It's like a Facebook page, right?
You don't exactly, but they think, oh, I don't want to do a Facebook page. I want to use
or a Facebook group. You don't just start a group and instantaneously people are in it.
Oh, you don't?
I know. I'm sorry. Really sorry. Someone who's created an amazing
hard truth.
Yeah.
Hashtag hard truth.
Yeah.
Well, and this is where the strategy comes in, because like every platform, every medium that you use has a different communication field, has a different frequency. So we were at Funnel Hacking Live a couple weeks ago, and one of the presentations, Russell Brunson, had actually talked about each platform and how he was using each of them. And it was kind of cool because he was comparing them to different TV shows and how often, they came up. And I love the way that he kind of laid that out, because that's how we have to think of every platform or every experience that we have.
Yes. I got to tell you, I'm so glad you brought that up, because from the beginning in this, I used to be a Twitter gal. I just was not a Facebook gal. I'm not in there talking about all my feelings and sharing what I had for lunch and what my kids.
I was going to say, no lunch pictures?
Just not my gig, okay? So I wasn't on Facebook that much, but I love Twitter, okay? It was short and sweet and to the point, and a little more blunt. I could be like myself and blunt. But when this first Messenger came out, when Messenger first came out, I labeled it face tweet because it is like Facebook and Twitter had a baby, and you speak as if you're on Facebook, but you use Twitter concepts, short, sweet, to the point. So if you want to look at strategy, keep your messages below 160 characters. Don't get in there and make a message where you have a one line at the top, then you space, and then you have a block of text, then you space again, and then you have another. No, when that comes onto someone's phone, they're going to have to scroll back up to read the top of it. Okay? Mm-hmm. So each message, 160 characters or less, and you're good. So face tweet. Think face tweet.
I remember that when I had you on the live show way back when. Face tweet. We were going to have a hashtag shirt, face tweet.
Now I got to do Chatbot Mom, and I got to do face tweet.
And face tweet.
This is what happens. This is how you end up with 100 different domains.
And shirts, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, and, so like my background's in software development, so I'm a computer nerd, as Ariana would say. And one of the things that was always interesting as we get into bots and even some of the AI stuff and a lot of what's coming in the future is there's this Turing test. And are you familiar with that?
I've heard the term, yes.
Okay, so essentially the Turing test is, do we get to a point where you could be interacting with a computer or interacting with something automated and you really can't tell the difference on whether it's a human or whether it's a computer or an automation? Yeah. So what's interesting, and I think this ties into the strategy too, is it's not to say that we're going to be deceitful in the fact that we're interacting with a bot, but part of it is looking at how would a human interact and then making your automations that same way. Like I see a lot of people that think that automations are a bad thing, and they're really not. Mm-hmm. But it all comes down to, are you communicating and have you figured out how to communicate? And then automations just help that make more efficient.
Yeah, that's it. So that's exactly right. So think about how you would message with your friends and family in Messenger. You wouldn't type this long old, drawn out thing. You would be boom, 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 get to the point. And, you might do it in 10 messages, but you would send in between. You wouldn't type it in all one long thing.
Yep. My responses are, Ariana, I'll type a bunch of stuff and I'll just say yes.
Yep. I know. Or I get the K.
K.
What is that? Yeah. You can't even type okay.
No, can't type okay. I do the same thing with my sons. K, or mine is thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
There you go.
Yep, that's fine. Yep.
Start giving you thumbs up.
No.
No.
Better not.
Yeah.
It's how I get punched.
Type words.
Yeah. No, we don't want to.
Well, this is why we use Voxer now, because I don't want to type anything.
One of our friends, they're a couple entrepreneurs, and they were like, oh my God, yeah, we Vox each other from like different rooms of the house. And I was like, really?
Oh, please.
And then we started doing it, and I was like, this is genius.
Yep.
Wouldn't that be nice? My husband doesn't even have a cell phone, so we won't even go there.
Wow.
I can't text him. If I want to talk to him, I have to actually call him the old-fashioned way.
Wow.
I don't even know what you're talking about right now.
I don't either. My kids, I text them all the time. I can't even tell him to come pick up milk on the way home. I'm like, what is this? Who are you? Why are you not?
I'm sure he enjoys it that way.
Oh, I'm sure he does. Yes. So that means at other times when I'm at the store and he wants to send me a message or call me, I'm like, sorry, didn't hear the phone.
Oh my goodness.
No, I do love him. I do. 35 years we've been married. These are the only two things, anal and no cell phone. That's it. Everything else is amazing.
Oh my goodness. I love it. So I just have to call this out because I thought it was hilarious. But when we originally talked about our topic for the show, your title was how to use chatbots to be a better parent. So I just got to call that out because I would love to hear how to use a chatbot.
I was going to say, now I'm intrigued.
There you go. Yeah, we got your curiosity going. I'm a good marketer after all. Yes. All right. So a couple of things. Number one, when I was typing that, I was thinking, how can I have the chatbot babysit my kids? Right? So can I just give them I can build a bot. Ooh, there's a good bot idea. I'll build a bot to totally intrigue a child so that they spend an hour going down this rabbit hole in a chat bot. All right? That's another concept.
You
But
could-
no, what another option?
Grilled cheese, chicken noodle soup.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Then we can give that data to mom and dad like they don't know it because they have to cook it 10 times a week, right? Yeah. So, but the other thing is there are lots of educational, informational chatbots out there. There are tons. There are messenger funnels for mental health, for physical activity, for meditating, for motivation. I mean, it's not just sell something.
Yeah.
So there are, and I can give you some that you can put in the show notes.
Yeah,
page,
I would love that.
parenting related chatbots that will give you daily inspiration, weekly articles, all over the place. So yeah, parenting is, our kids are going to be, I'm trying to get my sons to become developers so that they can get into this world and help create what's coming.
Well, I was going to say so we've been at several conferences lately. So when we were in social media marketing world, one of the keynotes, they're actually talking about messenger bots in the future. And, one of the things that really struck me there is that the implications of this, I think, are a lot bigger than probably anybody even realizes. And I think it's going to be a couple of years before a lot of us start changing our behavior. But it's the same thing with like the Internet of Things, and now everything's connected. I have a feeling that this is going to be a lot of the same way. And it's actually probably going to tie into that. And in a couple of years, this is going to be the norm of how we interact and operate with a lot of things.
Yeah. I had to tell you, I have a little side gig that's called the Marketing Futurist. And I have had the pleasure to speak with futurists. And these aren't people that just think about what's happening. They are creating these softwares. One of the things that has me just, I have to stop myself from chasing this particular squirrel. And I really, I have to clone myself. That's why I'm going to my sons going, no, you don't understand. You have to do this. So no, I'm kidding. I'm not doing that. But this is what seriously, yeah, I am trying to. But you talk about the Internet of Things. Think about, and this relates to the data, all the data breaches and all those fears that we all have. So think about, instead of the way it works now, which is each software company, each company has their own API. Don't ask what API means. I'm sure Tom knows, but I don't know. But anyway, they have their own API, their communication portal, basically, to communicate with their software or allow softwares to communicate together. So each software company has their own API, and we have to share our data with them. What's coming is that we as a family unit, especially as our homes become smart homes, we have our own API. And it's the other way around. We choose which companies to share our API with. So if we're talking about Back to the Future and we walk up to our door and it's bio-related, so it knows who we are by our handprint or whatever, and it only opens for us, what if that door goes out of business? Or what if I don't like that door manufacturer anywhere? Or they're not promoting their product or servicing their product, and I want to switch out doors? Well, then I cut off my API with that company, and I choose to share my API with my home with another company.
Yeah.
That's where it's headed. So that we have control of our own data, we have control of our own information, and we are not at the mercy of other companies. I think that's brilliant. I cannot wait. I want that tomorrow.
Well, and it's like, I love, the fact that you brought that up and where that's going, because even as we talked about risk before, what it really comes down to is a single point of failure. Whenever there's a way that something can just break and it's done, that's when we all get into trouble. But what happens with that is because basically your APIs are ways to share data. Right. But because you're not dependent on that door manufacturer, and now you can use any of those door manufacturers, it opens up a lot more flexibility.
Yes. And think about chatbots with that. So I don't have to go call. I'm sorry, I keep bringing up my husband, but he's so funny. Anytime something happens, he's like, well, can't you call him? I'm like, dude, you just don't call Apple.
They don't even have a phone number listed. You can't call
There's
companies
no way. I mean, that's his go-to. Can't you just call them? No, you can't call them. You go ahead and try. Find me a number, okay? And then in 3 hours, when you're still looking, let me know. But anyway, it's just so funny. So that door manufacturer, I have a feeling we're going to use a chat bot to say, sorry, this isn't working, that's not happening, and then continue and go to do whatever we need to do. So yeah, that's how they're going to all integrate. It's not that this technology is scary. To many people, it is very scary. I won't talk about one of the futurists that I talked to that's talking about implants of chips.
A lot of people out.
Okay, that I'm a little worried about. But anyway, so this is yes, it might be scary to you, but really this can work for us, and it can help all of us rise to a higher level so that we can look at the broader, the bigger concepts of our age: poverty, water purity, air purity. I mean, all those things, we can put more brain power to that rather than brain power to just surviving. That's really what it's headed for. And if we keep it away from the bad people as much as we can, in other words, don't let our politicians do this. Okay.
Yes.
Right. But still, if this will allow us to rise as a world, not just make more money.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think there's a lot more companies now that are going for the bigger impact with that type of stuff. I mean, you're seeing people all the time. I always get caught with those dang Facebook videos as I'm scrolling through my feed. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And then of course I share it because you have to share cool things. But there's so many people doing so much cool stuff out there. And not that everyone has to be a part of the bigger picture, but even just being a part of the smaller picture, you're helping the other bigger companies do the bigger picture stuff.
That's
so
right.
It's, I know a lot of people struggle with like, do I make an impact, or what is this all for? And honestly, if you're running your business and you're helping people, you're making an impact, and you're doing your part to help other people. And that's kind of what it all comes down to.
Yeah. Please jump in and play around with chatbots. It's easy to do on your own, but when you do that, you help all of us get better. You help the platform grow, because these ManyChat, Chatfuel, those are the names of two of the top companies that I use to create these things. And this is the Wild West still. I mean, it really is. This is nowhere near what it's going to be. But it's still developing. And the more people that are in there using it and trying to break it and trying to figure out how it works, the better it's going to become.
Yeah.
So yeah, jump in, play around, see what you can do.
The water's fine.
Oh my gosh, I'm talking about jump on this rocket ship, because once you get in, you're going to be blown away by what you can do. It just really is. My jaw drops all the time about what we can actually do and how we can communicate. It is so flippin' fun.
It's flippin' fun. All right. I know that there's going to be people who want to reach out to you and find out more about how to use messenger funnels in their business and just some of the information around it. So where can people find you if they want to reach out?
Obviously, you've been saying the name of my company the whole time, messengerfunnels.com. And that's the reason I got that domain, because it's not a chatbot. I could have gotten chatbot funnels. It's a messenger funnel, and you can check it out, messengerfunnels.com. But you can email me directly if you have any questions, or obviously I don't do email as much, so find me on Messenger.
I was just going to say.
Find you on Messenger.
Find me on Messenger. But if you really need to send me an email, you can send it to mkj@messengerfunnels.com. But find me on Messenger. I'm on, I have a Facebook page, Messenger Funnels. I have a Facebook group called Messenger Hackers.
Ooh.
And that's where we basically hack up a messenger bot and go through it and check it out and see what makes it work and see what we like about it and don't like about it and learn. We don't, totally put people down. We're not there to do that. That's not what this is about. I'm not the, what's his name? I can see his face. The guy, late night radio guy that used to be just like totally vulgar. Anyway, we're not tearing people down. We're looking at it strategically to see what's working, what's really cool. There is such cool stuff going on. The Golden State Warriors, look at their chatbot. It's crazy good. Look at Katy Perry's chatbot.
I love
crazy.
it.
Look at what is Prince EA.
Oh yeah, I love that guy. Prince EA.
Got a shout out to Andrew Demeter. He's one of my chatbot sons. They have it. They have a hashtag chatbot son. They call me hashtag chatbot mom. So anyway, one of my chatbot sons, Andrew Demeter, created that bot for him. Crazy, amazing stuff. And just find me in Messenger Hackers, find me in Messenger Funnels. Just reach out and however I can help. Because again, what's my number one goal? We got to keep this positive, keep this marketing best practices.
Yes, keep it using for good.
Yeah, yeah. Keep the evil guys out of it.
All right, you guys, it's been another great episode with Tom and Ariana, your hosts and lifestyle builders. And we want to extend a very special thank you to you, MKJ, for coming on and being a guest on the show. And I know people are going to walk away with tons of gold nuggets after this episode. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much. Lifestyle builders, you can do this. You got it. Just go out and do it.
There we go. And on that note, I want you guys to remember, as always, it's your life, your business, your way. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Are you frustrated by a lack of momentum in your business? Do you want real-time guidance and support from seasoned entrepreneurs who really care about your results? If you're nodding your head or awkwardly shouting yes in public somewhere, then we invite you to join Lifestyle Builders, a mentorship program designed to meet you where you are and give you strategic and custom guidance so you can build the business you need for the life you crave. You can find out more at joinlifestylebuilders.com.
Your life, your business, your way. Join Family Entrepreneur Life. Join Family Entrepreneur